Outside, come inside. Come on. I see more of you out there. Yo, throw up them horns. Yo, I see more of you out there. Let me get my mic up a little bit. Let me get my mic up a little bit. Thank you, thank you. Everybody in, come on, keep flooding in. All right. So, usually, before we play, I do 3 major shout-outs, just because I forget later on. But today, as I said yesterday, I honestly have a lot more serious things to talk about. I am not an outwardly political person. This is not a political band. We do not speak outwardly about political issues, but some of us as individuals are very forward-driven. And so there is nothing political about the dehumanization of people. ICE is tearing people out of their homes. ICE is taking families and tearing them apart and destroying communities. So as I said yesterday at a show we played, there is 2 things that I want you to take away from this. 1, stop relying on public figures and politicians to solve issues in your community. Stop thinking voting will help. Arm yourselves and protect your community. If you're scared of guns, I'm sorry, but you're just siding with the oppressors. I'm sorry. And on the second takeaway is that if you run into any sort of law enforcement, ICE surveillance agent, or anybody associated with them, remain silent. Say nothing. Do not incriminate yourself. Do not put other people's family in danger. It is your responsibility to protect your community. With that being said, shout out Abby and the staff, everybody that's working at this venue. Thank you so much for all we're doing. Shout out all the bands that are playing. Shout out everybody here. I don't know, I don't got a lot to say. I'm pissed off at the situation our country's in. So that being said, we're gonna play a fucking set. What the fuck? What the fuck? talk for a second. So, I got a lot of particular love for Michigan as a scene. And a lot of bands on this bill that when we were nothing, when we still are, don't get it wrong, we are nothing. There was bands like Confined and Dog's Teeth and Nuff Said, even before Nuff Said existed, they always had our back, and especially Mayhem Booking. All these people, they saw potential in us. We are forever grateful for them having our backs. So this whole set goes out to the Michigan, Ohio, Chicago, Indiana, Pissant too. All these bands, just goes out to them. This is for the Midwest. Let me see some fire. believe we only got 3 more left for you already. Got an EP that we're recording in August. We're really excited to do that. I ate too much pizza. I'm low-key ready to throw up. Committed to the windbreaker though. That's a permanent set. Oh my God, I went out. Anyway, shout out all the bands that are playing. Shout out all the bands that traveled. Shout out Michigan scene as a whole. I don't have enough nice things to say about all of you people. Honestly, like, this feels like a second home to us, and I really mean that. So we really appreciate you guys coming out and dancing for us. With that being said, this is a song about revenge. It's called We'll do it at the end. We got 3 left actually. We're gonna do a cover at the end here, but this is the first song we ever wrote. We're gonna take a second because we're sweaty. It's sweaty as high. Welcome to summer, guys. Everybody have a good time inside down. I know a lot of you were there. I still look sick. Mad FOMO missing that, but it's gonna be a good time here tonight. Hey, for this next one, you should stomp your feet.
Take
2 left. This is for the straight edge. You either are or you aren't.
That's you. That's you, bro. I'm not for real. That's you, man.
Side to side. Something so good. Who's gonna pay? Hey, you guys like that Swear to God cover that Pissant did? Yeah, that shit's tough. You want to hear another one? Appreciate it. Thank you.
But couldn't have done it without you. Give it up for my boys. Enough said.
Thank you, Abby. Thank you. We represent 2020